Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast. This is episode 486. We're up to Man From U.N.C.L.E. from 2015. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, did you see Man From U.N.C.L.E. in the theater?
I did. I saw this movie at the theater. Yeah, 2015. I definitely did. I didn't review it or anything. Like I wasn't podcasting at the time or nothing. So this movie, this was in that spot in between when I first started YouTube and then started my podcast, where like there was like a 2-year where I only saw movies just to watch them. And this was one of them. And then since I've seen it maybe like 2 or 3 times. So I've seen this movie a few times.
This is my second watch. I did the first watch is when I did the 4K review on the channel. I watched it for that, and then this is the second time as a review.
You had never seen it at the theater or anything?
No. It was in my radar because I kind of like this type of movies, but I just never got around to it. So I was like, it was an interesting watch. I kind of at the time I liked it for the 4K review, but I can't wait to talk about it because it's very interesting.
Yeah.
But with that said, let's take a look at the box office numbers. And I guess you could say why they haven't did a Man From U.N.C.L.E. Part 2. Yeah. So, all right. So here we go. Let's get right into the box office for Man From U.N.C.L.E. So these were the box office numbers, Nate. Number one, It was $75 million budget to make the movie. It grossed $110 million. Now, a lot of people go, oh yeah, but they needed to do a little bit double. They needed to hit like 2 and change just to make a green light. Yeah. Domestic, $45 million. No, not good at all. But international, $64.6 million, which is not that bad. That's what they needed to generate. I mean, I personally say for domestic, they needed to hit at least 100 for domestic just to try to break even. But yeah, it's kind of a semi-flop.
You know, it is. So here's the weird thing. I have a lot to say about the box office in this case, because I feel like there's a lot of moving parts. Number one, I'm not familiar. This is, of course, we're in the season 1 of this where we're doing TV shows. I never even heard of this TV show before going to see this movie. When it came out, I remember reading articles about it, and it was like, it's based off of a 60s television show. I never heard of the Man From U.N.C.L.E. I did not know it was a show. I wasn't born then, but there's those old shows that you have heard of, like parents have heard of them. I never heard of this. And I wonder, I don't know if it was a British show or if it was an American show. It has an international flavor, which is why I think the overseas box office was more, right? Guy Ritchie's British. He's not an American director. Henry Cavill's British actor. Alicia Vikander is a European. I don't even know where she's from. She's from somewhere out there in Europe. Armie Hammer, the only American really in the movie. So you have all that. Plus the movie set they're never in America in the whole movie. So it does kind of make sense. But I always wondered is this a British show or is this an American show?
Well, I can answer that for you right now, my friend. Okay. This movie is a American TV show. It's an American TV series. It was produced by, of course, MGM Television and broadcast in NBC from September 1964 to January 1968. Now, check this out. The concept, which kind of makes sense when I was watching the movie. The concept was James Bond creator Ian Fleming was brought in by producer Norman Felton to help develop the show's premise and characters. So now it had that eerie sense to it when you're watching.
That makes sense because Henry Cavill will be banging people in this movie. Yeah, for sure. He's like the main agent.
Yeah, he has the 007 suit, which...
Well, okay. With that being said, I guess, it's not surprising though with all the other parts that it made more. And the thing I wanted to say too before we move on, Guy Ritchie, love him. I love Guy Ritchie movies. A lot of them. They never make money. I don't know. Aladdin is the only movie he's made that was like super, super financially successful. Somehow he keeps getting jobs and I'm not mad about it because I enjoy his movies, but even his new movie, like In the Gray, pretty good, pretty fun. But he didn't make any money. The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal didn't make any money. All his movies seem to do this. He came out with a great start, right? Like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch. Those are successful. And then he has a string of like good stuff that nobody watched. And this kind of falls in that. I wouldn't say nobody saw this. This might have been one of his highest box office, but it still didn't make, the money that they spent.
Well, I found out why it didn't make the money. So we did a little thing here with Mission Impossible, and we tracked back to see what movies it went up against and why the money didn't go up against.
Oh, God. What did they put it out again? What did Warner Brothers do?
Warner Brothers, pretty much, the movie came out on August 14th, all right, of 2015. Okay. Well, for that month of August, Nate, this is interesting. You have Straight Outta Compton on August 14th. So it went up against...
Which was a big hit.
Yeah, it went up against Straight Outta Compton. Fantastic Four came out on August 7th, 2015. American Ultra... Never even.
American Ultra, Jesse Eisenberg. Oh, that's on our list to do for this show.
I never even. All right. The Gift came out August 7th. Ricky and the Flash, August 7th. Hitman Agent 47, August 21st. Mission Impossible Rogue Agent was released on July 31st. So that pretty much...
Mission Impossible 5 was still in the theater?
That's what they put in the bottom. It was like released and it was still dominating. It says here, July 31st was Rogue Nation dominating theaters alongside these August releases. So it was just taking money from from all these people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and Straight Outta Compton... made $200 million. It was a hit. Like, people were going to see that movie. So, I mean, there's competition there, and this is a property no one's familiar with. Let's be honest. TV shows from the 60s, and Henry Cavill at this point had only done Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Batman vs Superman had not come out yet. You know, he was in like this Cold Light of Day movie, which was horrible, and he was like had a minor part in like Count of Monte Cristo. Man of Steel was it, and so he wasn't the name he was going to become later. You know, Armie Hammer, he was in Social Network at this point. So Alicia Vikander was in Ex Machina. Like, these were not huge names. She hadn't won her Oscar yet. There's a lot of factors, but it is what it is.
No, I totally get it. I mean, but that answers the question. Now we go, why it wasn't as successful. All right. With that said, Nate, let's get right into the critics and audience on the Rotten Tomato score. What they got?
Yeah. I mean, they're okay. They're fresh, but they're not like super duper high. A critic score for this movie is, 68%. So it is fresh, just barely 8% over the threshold, with audiences 73, which is not bad for, a TV show adaptation, 60s set spy action movie. 73, not horrible. So, they're both over the line that they're not rotten or anything like that.
Yeah, well, we gave you guys the critic score, the audience score. Now it's time to tell you guys what we really think on this rewatch of the film. Is it approved action movie guy stamp of approval, or no? We skip on this one. So with that said, Nate, take it away. What do you think of the lead characters?
Okay, this was hard to score. I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching this movie, I was like, I'm familiar with the movie, but scoring it for AMG really made me open my eyes. Really opened my eyes to some things. Now, that being said, I don't want people to think, oh no, he hates it. No, I don't. But lead characters, this is a strong point for me. I gave them a 4. I really scored the group because it's 3 of them, really. And it's a lot of moving parts. This is a very, you know what I noticed too, like watching it this time, because Guy Ritchie has a very distinct style. And this is very much his style. Fit this sort of, because he's one of the screenwriters on it. And so it definitely feels like a Guy Ritchie movie in that you get these characters and then you get a lot of like out of order sequences. So like something will happen in the movie and then all of a sudden they'll flash back and show what some people said at this point and this is a staple. He does this a lot. So I was like, I didn't really notice it the first time. I didn't pick up on it being like a Guy Ritchie-ism, if you will. But I do think he did a good job of, listen, we'll start with Henry Cavill. Napoleon Solo, great name, by the way. Shout out to those TV people. That is a fantastic character name. You get not only his character, but then you get the backstory, right? You get the guy, the Russian guy, telling the Russian agent his whole backstory. This guy was he was in the military, and then he became a thief, and he started stealing this stuff from the Nazis and then selling it and making a lot of money. And then he went to jail. But then the CIA was like, man, this guy's too good. Let's get him out of jail and make him work for us. And so you get enough backstory. And then he is the sort of James Bond character with less, I would say less, Bond is very kind of larger than life. He does not feel larger than life, but he has the same characteristics as far as he's very attractive. The ladies love him. He uses that to his advantage when he can. He got some fun with them, but he's not as much, right? Because like the main girl, he does not even ever try to do anything with her. So he's a little more straightforward there. He's a great agent, and they show that. Then the Russian guy, played by Armie Hammer, Ilya is his name. Ilya something or the other. He, same thing. You get the backstory when they're telling Napoleon his backstory, right? Oh, this happened. And then you get actually Napoleon telling him his backstory. You know, your dad was this, your mom did this. He gets mad. So they fill you in on their history. I like the dynamic. I like that they don't like each other, but they have to work together, but they kind of grow to like each other. You know what I mean? They at least grow to respect each other, which I like. And then you have Alicia Vikander. She's there. She turns out the whole movie, she's working for the British intelligence. And that does kind of come out of left field. But I think they did a good job enough of making it work where they kind of give you some backstory. You got Hugh Grant coming in. Like, oh, she's our agent, actually. I liked it. I do think they have a good chemistry, the three of them. I actually like it. I actually like her and Armie Hammer together. Like, I love the scene in the hotel room where she's dancing.
Yeah.
And
she slaps the
like,
crap
they
out
start
of him.
wrestling. Yeah. Like, I like that scene. I think it's fun. I gave them a 4. I actually like the character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I give it a 5, though. I think this is a perfectly casted movie. I think they very perfectly casted it. Henry Cavill as Solo, I liked him. And I could totally see why it could be James Bond. I don't know why they did not pick him as James Bond, because he does have a British accent, so it's not like he don't. Yeah. So he looks like it, and especially the scene in the beginning when he walks with the silencer and he stands and he shoots it. I was like, bro, this is like an audition tape right here at him as Bond. He has the blue eyes, the silky black hair. The fun fact, the suit that he's wearing was tailored by the James Bond guys who did Daniel Craig suits. So, so he has that physique. But anyway, with that said, I think he was awesome. He's funny at times in the movie, not crazy like I laugh out loud, but his mannerisms is very sarcastic and mad funny. I thought that was funny. Armie Hammer, let me get to him. This is the only movie I think he's good in that I seen him in. Whoa. He's very good. Yeah. In this movie as the Russian dude. I like him. I think they're like the hot sauce and the sweet sauce put together, right? They complement each other while they're two different. Sweet and sour sauce. That's what they are. Because honestly, like he's very angry all the time. And he's like, don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. And he's like, okay, you do what you gotta do. And it's like they find each way has their way of doing stuff. Like my favorite scene is when they're going into the facility and he goes, this is a pulley something, and he's cutting.
When he's cutting.
And then he goes, and then he says, oh yeah, this is the actual thing that you have, but it's the laser version. So I thought that was
the laser.
Yeah.
It's like, this is hardened by some kind of laser.
Yeah.
And then he just goes like,
yeah.
This is the laser.
Yeah. And then when they go to the door picking thing and he's trying to think and he goes, and then it's the lock. So it's like the opposite, the lock picking versus his technology. Yeah. So I thought it was cool and I liked it. They had great chemistry. Tomb Raider, the girl plays Tomb Raider, Alicia. I thought she was really good. This is like my second movie where, because I saw her in Tomb Raider. Actually, no, my third, because she was in Jason Bourne too. She was in that movie. So I like her. I think she's very cute. She's very funny, great actress, but you're right, she is funny. I like when she's like working on the car in the beginning.
Yeah, she's good. I mean, she won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Not for this, but she ended up winning one. So she is a good actress.
She is.
But I'm glad she picked some of these like action movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think she did I think as a whole, I think they had chemistry. All of them had great chemistry with each other. Yeah, so I thought that was, I think they worked very well. I think Ritchie did a good job. And then, like you said, he did a great job with the character development of each person, like what they are and all that. I give it a 5, you give it a 4. All right, main villains.
Well, we're going to take a drop here in villains. And this is why, when I watched this, I was like, oh no, this is going to lose some points here. I don't think it's I want to preface this with, I don't think the movie necessarily suffers because of this score, but these are not very great villains. This is not that kind of action movie, right? Because this is a CIA, an intelligence. It's more, I would say it's almost more like a spy thriller, but it's kind of light in tone, right? Like there's a little bit of comedy, there's action in it. It's not a super serious thriller, but it's more of that. The villains here, they're not the focus. The mission is more of the focus of the movie. The main thing that these 3 agents are trying to do is stop these people from selling this nuclear warhead, right? They've been able to get a nuke. They're going to sell it for a lot of money. The Vinciguerra family, that's their name. You got the guy, the husband, and then his hot British wife. And he's trying to seduce the girl, and she's hooking up with Henry Cavill. And then they figure out that they're agents, but not really on their own because the British girl ends up spilling the beans, but they're not in it that much. I'm going to be honest with you. And even when they do show up, all they do is act rich. Like they're just rich people. They don't really even go into a lot like why they really are like super evil and wanting to sell a nuke. Basically, they kidnap her dad. He's a scientist. He's helping them, enrich the uranium or whatever. It's pretty standard stuff when it comes to the nuke stuff. But I just don't think, I think they look the part of villains. Elizabeth Debicki, she's the blonde one. She's like 7 feet tall or something like that. She's huge.
Yeah.
I don't mean that bad. She's a really tall statue of a woman. Really gorgeous. Looks evil. But what does she do really? Like, she meets Henry Cavill. They flirt. They bang. And then she drugs him. And then she gets blown up at the end. Like, there's not a... I don't know. I gave it a 2. It's not a 1 for me, but it's barely a 2. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's funny. I was tiptoeing with this because I'm like, this movie is an hour 56, and it doesn't feel like that. It feels like a longer movie. But the villains, to me, is the weakest part of this film. It really feels like a 007 movie. One of those movies that are like, if you did a lot of 5, it's going to be one of those that are hurt by the villains. And this is the movie that is like dry chicken. Now you're like, oh my God, they don't got that good villain to support the great cast. If you know what I mean. This movie's villains are whack. They're not good at all. They're dry. They're not fun. Do they kill? No. They don't kill at all.
No, they torture him, but he doesn't die.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't kill. They're not formidable. When you meet her, you don't know she's the villain. Like, until she reveals herself when she kills. Oh, they do. They kill the father, but she kills him. But at the end of the day, I'm like, this is a very generic villainy type of character. Where's the girl and then the husband, and they split up with the nukes, and then they think, so, and they do fight the good guys, right? The husband fight the good guy, but Armie Hammer he just demolishes them. So at the end of the day, I'm like, it's just weak. Nate, I think I agree. It's so weak. They were not as interesting as you want it to be for like this type of TV show. This is a movie that needed someone like Samuel Lane character, where these 3 guys are up against this one billionaire that, like that typical Bond villain that we always say on all these damn movies. We don't have that here. Right. And that is the weakest part of this movie. I agree. I gave it a 2. I think it needed more seasoning to the villains department. Yeah. All right. With that said, 2 across the board here. Action sequence.
All right. I'm interested to see how you feel about the action here. I gave it a 3. There's not a lot. There's less than I remember. I'll put it that way. You have the good car chase at the beginning with some crazy Guy Ritchie editing, which is cool. It's fine. I like it. Zooming in, zooming out, whatever. Mixing it up. It's cool. It's fine. It's not super long, but it's good. It's long enough because you have a mix. You have the car chase, and then they slow it down with the shooting, and then she's like hiding, and then it continues, and he's on foot, and then they have the zip line thing. Like, it's a nice little opener. But one thing I will give Guy Ritchie credit for, and he does this in most of his movies, and we're going to do more of his movies as we go along. He is a traditional action. When he does action, it's very traditional in that it builds up, right? Like, you don't get the biggest action scene right at the beginning. It usually goes from like a smaller one and then a little bit, and then the finale is usually like the biggest one, right? This movie's no different, but with that said, none of them are that huge of action sections. So you have that. The next action scene, really, they fight in the bathroom. It's short. It's a little, tussle. It's not even a real fight. And then you don't really get anything until they break it into the facility. And even then, it's mixed with like some comedy parts, but like the escape on the boat, there's like the boat chase, which we talk about boat chases. They don't have enough. This one's pretty good. And I love the way they do it, but it's more comedic, where he's eating the sandwich and you just see the gunshots going off, but you hear this like Italian music playing, and he's just in there chilling, eating the sandwich. And it's played for laughs rather than great action. Yeah. And then you have the finale where you have like the motorcycle, the little doom buggy thing, and the Jeep, and there's a chase, and then there's the fight, and then they blow up a boat, which, there is a big explosion. So there is action. I don't want to say there's none. And it's well shot, but there's not a ton, and none of the segments are particularly super long. So I gave it a 3. I think it's like just pretty solid. Nothing spectacular for me.
I was torn with this one, dude. I was torn with this because this movie is basically more story than action than story. So I gave it a 2.5. I felt like I agree with you. The beginning of the movie for me is the highlight, where he's doing he meets her in the garage. And then he's like, you got to come with me now because they're following me. Look out the window. And then he goes, you got a car? They get in the car. They do the cool chasing. I like that one shot. And you can tell it's green screen, that the 2 cars are going super fast and like. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I like that car scene. It was pretty cool. You got the Henry Cavill shoot thing that made him look like 007. You're right. The bathroom scene. Then you got Armie Hammer beating up those 3 guys at the car racing thing. But you don't see it.
Which they didn't even show.
Yeah, they don't show, but alluded to it. I wanted to see it because it is kind of funny. But
Yeah.
He beats those guys up. You alluded to it. And then the fight between, not a fight, but Alyssa, the girl versus him when she's drunk.
Yep.
Honestly, and then the ending, which you had that little bit boat scene, and then they had the guy hits her, he says, hold on, and then they tumble down the mountain, and the Armie hammer pretty much just stabs the guy, and that's it. And then the big explosion. I gave it a 2.5 because it's not much. There's not much for me to go. It's like an appetizer to the main course. I didn't get the main course type of action with this movie. I just got appetizers here and there. This movie is not heavily action for you to go, okay, this is an action. I don't consider this movie as action, more of a story. This is an actual story movie than an action movie. So I'm giving it as kudos. A 2.5 is not as bad, but I feel like for this movie, could have been up a notch a bit. It should have been a 3.5 for me or 3. But I get what you mean though for a 3. I mean, yeah, I get it. For me, I just feel like it wasn't as much for this type of espionage type movie. So with that said, a 2.5 for me. You gave it a 3. What you got for storyline?
Okay, for storyline, I think it's good. So I categorized this when I rewatched it this time, and I'm thinking in my head. And, I'm not comparing it. Again, I don't know the show. So most of these things we've done, most of these show to movie adaptations, I don't even know the shows on a lot. I've never seen a lot of them. So I can't be like, well, how does this compare to the show? You know what it reminded me of? It seemed like it was probably, I feel like the show would have been like a not funny version of like Get Smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, the
like,
Avengers
Get
movie.
Smart was like the funny version.
That Avengers British show? With a
yeah. And they did the movie with Uma Thurman and Ray Fiennes. Yeah, like it seemed like it would be something like that. And I was like, I could imagine it when I'm watching. I could see it in my head. Like, okay, I could see how this could be a show, and you could just do a bunch of adventures because this guy's a CIA and whatever. I think it's good. I gave it a 3 as well. I like it, but there are a lot of points where I don't want to say it's like overwritten, but I do feel like there are moments where it's like, okay, he tried to do a little too much here and there, where they could have dialed it back just a bit, make it a little simplified, a little more simplified. I know you tend to like the spy genre a little more than me, and that's another factor. Like, I like spy movies, but they're not like my most favorite thing. This one is good. It is good. I enjoy it. I think it's funny. I do like the comedy. I think it works. It's not like ha laugh out loud funny, but there's like a good sense of humor throughout. And again, I think it has well written characters. Besides the villains, everyone else is very well written. So I like it, but I don't love it, and I gave it a 3.
You know, it's funny. I gave it a 3 too. I felt like this. The problem I didn't give it a higher score is because I felt like I'd seen this movie before, and I think it's not a new stuff. So, and at the end of the day, I felt like it was too draggy at points. I was like, oh man, it's not moving the story along. It's just draggy. While it's an hour and 56 minutes, I felt like this movie could have been an hour 45. It could have cut a little bit more down a bit. And I think if you would have cut the minutes down a bit, it would have gave you the action that it had in the movie would have felt like it was more action in the movie, which is really interesting to say now. Yeah, that was my only hinder. I just felt like it was a little draggy, a little bit too long. The villains are not memorable. They don't do anything big with the story. She gets in this boat, and then, at the end of like the guy who retired boat or whatever, her dad's boat. And I don't know, I just felt like the ending was just not as strong. Like, it started strong and it just got weaker towards the ending of the film for me. I wasn't too like, oh yeah. So that's why I gave it a 3, because I was just like, it's a good story, but it could have been better with this cast. I bet they would. I mean, if this was a TV show, you can't tell me they didn't have no good episodes, that they could have just ripped the story apart and made it into a longer length of the version. But I do agree with you. It's funny. This movie reminded me of Mission Impossible 1, whereas Mission Impossible 1 was a little bit more action than this one, but it had that same feel to it, the draggy parts that you hated in part 1. Yeah. But not that easy.
When he was waiting for the email.
Yeah, that whole part with the email. Yeah, that's what I felt. The Job.
Hurry up. Send the email. Yeah. What are we doing here?
I mean, yeah. So anyway, 3 for me, 3 for you. All right, what do you got overall?
Yeah, overall. So you know what? This is interesting because you had a 0.5. I have a 0.5 here. I haven't done a 0.5 in a minute, but I gave it a 3.5. I'll tell you why. Yes, the story's only a 3 for me. The action's a 3. Great characters, though. But I think it's a fun movie, and I like the direction. I think Guy Ritchie directed this very well. I love the way it looks. When I do my overall, I factor in, now we're talking all aspects, right? I think this has really good music. I love the music. I love where he puts the certain, like that scene with the sandwich. And it's like this Italian song playing, and he's funny. I like stuff like that. great cast in this. Not only do you have Henry Cavill, Armie Hammer, Alicia Vikander, then you have Jared Harris, like you said, as the CIA guy. You have Hugh Grant as the British intelligence guy coming in. Yeah, he's been in a bunch of Guy Ritchie movies, so like it was cool to see him pop up. I like the way it's directed. I like the use of split screen. There's one part that has like a lot of split screens where they're going over here, doing this, and then they kind of connect, meet up. Great. I love that. It has a good, for a movie that could have been stuffy and very like, proper, and it's not. It has a good energy to it, good acting. So I think overall, in my head, I'm like, this is like a 7 out of 10 movie. So I stuck with a 3.5. I do think it's solid and I like it. It's just not the best action movie that there ever was.
Yeah, I totally get it. Like, I gave it a 3. I thought it was good. And this is the second time I watched it. And I'm like, while it was draggy and a little bit boring, but I was entertained. And at the end of the day, it was an entertaining. Once you get past it and you know what you're watching, it's a good movie. It's a very good movie. Like, you want to see a sequel. Like, when the movie ended, I was like, you know what? I could see what they do next. Like, once they made the Man From, like, I want to see where they go. But I looked it up and they're not even greenlighting another one. They said the Armie Hammer is like pretty much gone and they don't want to recast
He's
it.
He's like canceled.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's a shame because I think this could have been a nice trilogy, like the Sherlock Holmes that he does. It could have been a really nice trilogy.
Oh, those are big hits. I'm talking about Guy Ritchie. I forgot about Sherlock Holmes. Those movies made a lot of money.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that was a surprise hit, the Sherlocks.
But those were before Aladdin, to be fair to me. So Aladdin was his last big hit. That's what I should have said.
I forgot about Sherlock Holmes.
I forgot about Sherlock Holmes. I forgot he made those. We haven't done those yet on the channel. They're on the list.
Yeah. On the list. So for me, a 3 is a good one. I think if you're into these type of movies, you will enjoy this movie. If you're not going to like this movie. And I could totally, you don't need to watch the show to get this movie, to be honest with you. So anyway, with that said, all right, Nate, what you got? Total points.
My total is a 15.5 out of 25.
That's funny.
You the same score?
Yeah, 15.5.
Yeah, 15.5. I think it's good. I think it's solid. I think it's entertaining. I think it looks great. Yeah. I watched it. This was my first time watching that 4K. Looks great. Beautiful movie. Well shot. It's fun. It's entertaining. This is like a Saturday afternoon movie.
Yes.
And I watched it on a Saturday afternoon. I was like, this is the perfect time to watch this. Yeah. This is great. It's breezy. It's fun. I like it.
This is a movie you can sit down and have a nice Subway sandwich.
Yeah, honestly. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put on Man From U.N.C.L.E. and eat my lunch and watch this movie. And it's good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. You could look like Henry Cavill eating the sandwich while seeing Armie Hammer get shot.
It's nice.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. You said everything. This is a very nice looking 4K and Blu-ray because we did the review on the channel. If you're interested in it, the 4K review is out. We compare the Blu-ray to the 4K. They both look great. So it sounds amazing with the Dolby Atmos track. So you're like, holy crap. But yeah, you're right. This is a solid film. I think it's up there for me in terms of genre of the spy, like Mission Impossible Bonds. Like this one could go up there. And Guy Ritchie, it's funny. I don't watch much Guy Ritchie. And I know you always tell me you got to watch Guy Ritchie because he's up your alley. And it's true. I like his movies that I've seen so far. Lock, Stock, and Barrel. Like I like that movie. It's really quirky and funny. This one I like a lot, but again, I don't watch a lot of his films where I would enjoy it. But yeah, it's kind of a weird.
Don't worry, we have almost all his movies in some of the seasons coming up, so they'll be sprinkled throughout, and you're gonna like a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And the thing is like I'm very shocked on like how not popular he is when his movies are. I think he's like one of those like he doesn't do good in the box office, but when the movies come out on 4K Blu-ray, people buy them, and it's like, oh, this movie's great.
And he gets great actors in all his, even his new one, In the Gray. Jake Gyllenhaal, big name. Henry Cavill, big name. Isaac Gonzalez, not as big of a name, but she's a known actress. Made like $12.
He's the one.
I saw it. It was pretty good.
Is he the one that made the one with the cat in Henry Cavill? Was it the Carkle?
Oh, Argyle?
Yeah,
no, that's Matthew Vaughn.
Oh, okay.
So they were producing partners. Matthew Vaughn produced his first 2 movies, and then Guy Ritchie produced Layer Cake for Matthew Vaughn.
Oh, so because they got the same taste.
Yeah, they're friends. They're both English directors, but Guy Ritchie has way more movies. Has directed way more movies. But like Operation Fortune, we're gonna do. You'll like that. You've seen Wrath of Man.
I've seen it once.
Oh, well, you're gonna see it again because it's on the list. Like he's worked with Jason Statham quite a few times. Yeah. Now he's worked with Gyllenhaal and Henry Cavill multiple times. So like he gets great actors, and then you're like, how did nobody go see this? I don't get it. I think it's kind of weird that nobody watches his movies.
I agree. Solid. No, I agree with that. All right, with that said, Nate, what is coming up next on the podcast?
Ooh, all right. Speaking of solid, I have no idea if this. Oh, I have it right here. I have no idea if this is solid. I I haven't seen this. When did this come out? 2006? I don't think I've seen it since 2006. That might have been when I watched it. We're going to be doing a little movie called SWAT, starring Colin Farrell, LL Cool J, Michelle Rodriguez, and Samuel L. Jackson. I'm just going off of this. I'm looking at this and naming what I see. LL Cool J with a hat. Listen, I saw this when I was 19. I think I liked it. I bought this because I knew we were going to be covering it. So shout out to my bookstore. I think I paid $4. Bro, this looks like an action movie. The quote on the back from Ebert and Roper: a solid action movie with a lot of heart and soul. All right, the next one from Roger Ebert: the best cop film since Training Day. I don't know if he actually said that. We're gonna find out. But this was apparently also an old TV show that I've never seen, and I'm very excited because I think I might hate this or love this. It's gonna go either. I don't think I'm gonna be in the middle. So I'm very excited. I don't know if you've seen SWAT or when you've seen SWAT, but our boy Colin Farrell's back.
Yeah, I seen SWAT once, and I think I'm with you on this. I think I seen it in 2006. I didn't go to
20 years ago.
I didn't see it on. You know what's funny? I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it on DVD.
Oh, DVD. Oh, dang. Yeah. Well, I got this beautiful Blu-ray from Columbia Pictures.
Most likely I have it on Blu-ray somewhere in my collection, but I remember watching it on DVD. I remember buying it, and I was like, yo, SWAT. And I think I liked it, too. I was like, one of those movies. Is that the one that the guy goes, if you take me out, I'll give $1 million to whoever? I think he puts like $1 million escape.
No, it says the story is, it says their first assignment is to transport an international drug kingpin into federal custody after he's offered $100 million to anyone who will free him.
Yes, that's what, not 1 million, 100 million. 100 million. I knew it was something like that. Yeah. I remember that, yeah.
Bro, that's an action movie premise if I've ever.
Yeah, that's a
SWAT team got to protect the criminal from people freeing him. This is gonna be great. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Or is it?
Or horrible. It's directed by Clark Johnson. I've never heard of this guy in my life.
All right, guys. Well, there you guys have it. In terms of the Man from U.N.C.L.E, we give it the stamp of approval of the action movie, guys.
Yeah,
we stamp it. Bam! With that said, guys, you guys can follow us on social media, on Instagram, Geeks and Flicks. Of course, Nate Flicks Reviews on Instagram. And of course, you can take us on the go with the Action Movie Guys podcast, available on all podcast platforms. And of course, you can visit and watch the video versions of the podcast available on our Geeks and Flicks YouTube page. So it's youtube.com/Geeks and Flicks. And other than that, I'm your host, Action World, and that's my co-host, Nate. Be awesome to each other and geek out.